We're live in the pits of Metal and Motorcast. It's your host, Dave. I got a nice special guest, singer-guitarist from Conquest, Derrick Brumley. How's it going, Derrick?
Pretty good, bro. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. So how you doing through these lockup times? You staying safe indoors in the house or what?
Yeah, hanging around a little bit, trying to be doing the right thing and keeping somewhat safe. But got to do what we got to do too, though, right? We got to go out and get food and stuff. So
right.
Doing all pretty good. Yep.
So you miss playing with the band?
So yeah, we've had a couple of rehearsals. Me and the drummer and Mike, the other guitar player, Tim and Mike have come over. Rob lives a little farther away from us, so we three kind of live by each other, and so he hasn't been able to make it. But we've done a lot of back and forth on the phone these days. Since we're not out getting to be out playing any shows or any tours, what we're doing right now is we're just kind of writing a little bit and keeping our chops up and we're, keeping the set ready for when we do get to go out and have some fun. But currently, we're using the time to write some new material, so why not, right?
Now, last year you guys released The World Has Gone to Hell, right?
That's the current release we're supporting. Yeah, we would actually be in the middle of a bunch of dates right now if that was possible. Doing real well. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should check it out, man. It's a power metal, hard rock, heavy metal record. It's kind of a little bit of all the elements to heavy metal. We like to call it a pure breed of heavy metal.
Yeah, I listen to some of the songs. You can tell you guys are influenced by Judas Priest.
For sure, Priest is an influence in our music. Believe it or not, there's a lot of old school metal, and then some metal church influences. Sabotage is a big influence on us. Metallica has its moments. So we're pretty gulfed into that. And this particular record doesn't necessarily have a lot of thrash tracks on it. Couple, but we're big Testament fans. So there's a lot of elements going into what we do. And then we are Conquest, so we write who we are. So yeah, I think the new record kind of represents the state where we're at, and actually, ironically enough, look at the world right now, right? That's pretty appropriate. So
how's the metal scene out in St. Louis?
St. Louis scene is pretty good. When before all this happened, we play the region strong. So Illinois, we got Pops over there. We got Chicago not far from us. St. Louis directly, you got some rooms, and we had a couple new rooms out west. About 50 miles from us. Some new rooms popped up too. So pretty good area to run through if you're in the Midwest as far as hard rock heavy metal goes.
Now, are you guys still working with Voodoo Queen Management?
No, those guys are good friends of ours, man. They were going in a direction that we were going a little different in, and so a record company and us decided to see some different management. So it happened. Again, Yvonne's a great friend of mine. I've known her for years on end. Tony's a great guy, and wish all those guys the best of luck.
Now, when you do put out another album, that'll be on Dark Star again?
Yeah, Dark Star's been good to Conquest. So, yes, I see no reason why we would change that. Jeff and I always collaborate on what's going on, and we work well together. So, good label, man. I have no complaints at all.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Swanson is a real cool guy. I remember when he used to live down this way. I remember hanging out with him a couple times. Real cool guy, man.
Up in Chicago area?
Yep.
So you know Lloyd?
Yeah, Lloyd, yep.
Yeah, Lloyd's a good guy too, man. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now, man. Playing rock and roll, heavy metal, however you want to call that, and working on new stuff. Can't wait to get out and play, man. Can't wait to get up your way, man. It's been a while. We were getting ready to come up there, and then it all just kind of, we were getting ready to announce a bunch of stuff, and it all fell apart. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah, so Conquest started, what, 1988?
Yeah, for the most part, man. That was our, I was always doing kind of, from the time I could play guitar at 13, that was my vision, man. It was my dream. So there was always some, kid's fantasy of Conquest earlier than that, but that's about when we took root and really, really launched into, being a full-blown artist. And they play the same songs over and over again. You want to play something else, so sometimes we would just pick up a pre-song or something and start working on it. Pantera, Sabbath. Those are metal guys in my world. So we pay homage to those guys and cover some of their tunes. Conquest style, mind you. We did put out a tribute disc net. It goes back in 15 or something like that, called Under the Influence. So if anybody hasn't checked that out, check it out. I think you might dig it.
That's cool, man. So now for you, what age did you start playing the guitar?
I started playing at 13, man. I mean, I don't know what it was. My brother had an acoustic guitar. Actually, I was beating on a drum at first. And my brother had an acoustic guitar, and I went over and picked it up and started messing with it, the top string, and I learned some basic songs, Smoke on the Water and stuff like that. Then it was over for me. Then I was sold, So Cal High went about doing it. Played the guitar, took about 6 guitar lessons. They taught me how to play Eruption, the basic little simple parts of it, and it was like, I don't need you no more. Even though that wasn't true, that's kind of how that went down. So, yeah.
So how did the band name come about, Conquest?
Actually, man, when I was like 13 years old, that's when I first experienced with smoking weed and stuff. So, I did that. I smoked some weed one night with my buddy, and we were talking about getting a band going and all that, like I said. And then a guy I played street hockey with had a guitar over in his corner, and I traded him a hockey stick for the guitar, and that was where I got my first electric guitar. And then the guy I was talking about, Tony Green at the time.
Yeah. So now, what age did you start singing?
Truly, man, I was a guitar player at heart. This is just the way it goes down in rock and roll. Played guitar, I had singers, a couple good buddies that, in the band, different singers, and then we had Tony Privet was in the band in 1988. He was the lead singer, he was a good friend of ours and everything. But then when he left, that era that we were speaking about, with the singer came the ego and all the nonsense. So my bass player, Barney Restivo at the time, went to me in the arms and said, "Dude, you do it, man." I was like, "Man, I don't want to be the singer. I'm a guitar player." He's like, "Oh, we should be like Metallica, man. That's what we like anyway, and Overkill and stuff like that." I was like, "Well, I'll try. I can't make no promises." So I did for a little while, man. And then we got an offer to be more like a Motley Crue band from a label, and I said, "Well, I'll try to make my thing per se to be as a band that way." I liked it, hard rock stuff, but it wasn't what we did. You know what I mean? We were more with the Priest and the Faith and that kind of stuff as far as music goes. So that's what happened to us. We did a record that way, kind of the 80s thing, and then the whole thing fell apart because of the industry changing, and we went back to being who we were in the first place, and then here we are. So that's kind of how it went down.
So who are some of the biggest bands you guys have shared the stage with?
Oh, man, everybody. It's easier to tell you who we haven't. We've played with everybody from Slayer to open for back in 2000, Maiden and Halford. Remember that when it was Queensrÿche, Maiden, and Halford? Are you too young?
No, I'm 52.
Oh, you're up to them, so you remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that time frame. Yeah, so that tour happened, and we played with everybody from the 80s, and that we played with, Sabotage, like I said, Testament many a time. On and on and on. All the 80s guys. We were lucky back in the early 2000s. We did quite a few of the festivals, and then Jaeger tours helped us out. So it's kind of hard to say because we did a couple mayhem things, So it depends on how you view all that, you know what I mean? But we met a lot of guys, had a lot of fun. We were really lucky to get to the opportunities that we got. So it means a lot to us. Playing original music, man, is always a chore. You know what I mean? So anytime you get the opportunity to play on some of the larger festivals, and then get to play some of the Jaeger tours, through the Midwest was a big help to us as well.
So what would you consider to be one of your fondest memories of the band Conquest?
Oh wow, man, there's quite a few of them. So I don't know. I'd probably say the Maiden gig was a blast. But then again, I was out at dinner back in 2004. Phone rang, agent says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Getting ready to eat." He goes, "You sitting down?" I go, "I can be." He goes, "You're going to get to play opening night, Halloween night, the Slayer tour. It's already sold out. You guys are on the bill." And I was like, that was pretty cool. That was one of those moments where you sit there and you kind of freak out for a minute. Cool, but also you're playing with Slayer, and Russ with Slayer, and Russ was on that bill. Mastodon. I can't remember the other guy. Honestly, but yeah. So it was one of those surreal moments there. But again, we were so lucky to do so many things. We've done Type of Negative. We played with Shadowfall, a good band out of the 90s. I wish they were still around. Shadowfall, we got to do some good gigs with those guys. And then Stone Sour. And it goes on and on.
That's pretty cool, man. So, what do you enjoy most about being a musician?
Well, I'm a songwriter, dude. So for me, I love to write music, and then I'm a producer as well. So the world's gone to hell. Actually, all of the records, but I'm really proud of that particular record. And I produced the record, so that's my baby from start to finish. You know what I mean? On how it goes down. So I would play. So that's the most fun part of it for me. I love being on stage, but I love being on stage after I've created some cool music. You know what I mean? So that's my goal, always to make the best record I can. And you know what? I'm blessed, man. My band is just, me, Mike, Tim, and Rob, we work so well together that it's pretty easy to do. I'm gonna be honest with you. I come up with a hook. Mike's got a hook. Tim comes up with beats for us. We get some rhythms. We toss them back and forth. Rob comes in, throws his stick on it with the bass, and we do our best to not just go, oh, it's this way. We all kind of work together to get the so-called flavor of Conquest. One thing I don't want to do is sound like Metallica. And nothing against the band. I love the band. I don't want to sound just like Judas Priest. I don't want to sound just like, my favorite bands. I want to have relevance to them.
Right.
I want to do what I can for them, but I don't want to sound like Conquest. So we do our best to, create our own vibe. And like I said, Rob, Tim, and Mike, they bring it, so it's really easy to help, and put it together that way.
So what do you hate most about being a musician?
What do I hate the most about being a musician? How about loading gear? Carrying gear. Again, I'm involved in it. I don't have that lead singer syndrome that everybody talks about. I'm the guy in the trailer. When the gear's coming off, going in, I'm in there making sure it's going in right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, probably loading gear. And then sometimes just the straight up bullshit that comes with rock and roll. Sometimes you get shit on when you don't deserve it, but, you brush it off, you put your big boy pants on and go back out and do it again.
Now, Derrick, if you were able to change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Probably the way they give away music. I don't mean the industry per se, but, social media is a great thing, came out. You remember when we were younger, you went to buy that magazine to find out what was going on, right?
Yeah.
Without Whip and Circus and Metal's Edge and all those magazines, we didn't know anything. We couldn't wait to read something, about it. So, as well as the social media is a cool thing, as what we're doing right now, right? Outside of that, it really took the sales out of record sale, you know what I mean, and product line. So people go, oh, well, we can get it for free. Well, remember, man, I spent 20 hours on that song on my couch before I ever showed the guys, and we put all these hours into it to write it down to love of art, for sure. But, we like to get, make a decent return on it as humanly possible. Let's be honest, musicians don't make a whole lot of money. You got about 20 artists in the game that are making real money. Everybody else goes home to their apartment, or they have another job, one or the other. Or they marry a girl who's got money or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it really works. So I'd probably say the lack of attention to the actual art that is negated when it comes to money. Not that we all want to be rich, or everybody wants money, but just the respect of what goes down. And if people would steal it, which I get it, I've been
Yeah, I remember the days looking at the metal magazine, seeing new album release coming out on a certain and run to the record store when it comes out, buy that vinyl.
Yep, yep. And you know what? Wasn't it cool? So you went in and you bought I can remember buying The Dungeons Are Calling by Sabotage.
Yeah.
You know, I remember buying it, going home, going, man, this has got to be good. Look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I read about the band, and I'm like, oh, I got to. So I put it on, and it's like, whoa, floored me. Well, you know, today you get all these little snippets of everything in advance, so you don't get that magic when you put it on for the first time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we've lost that. But you know, again, man, I hate to say it, but when we were kids, you hung out with your buddies and that, and you put records on, and you drank a few beers or what have you, and you checked out the record. You read the liner notes, you flipped it open, you went for it. When you bought an Iron Maiden record, you're like, holy cow! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where nowadays, like I said, you get the artwork before it ever comes out. Sometimes see the liner notes before it ever comes out. You hear 3 or 4 songs off the record before it ever comes out. And so, what's left?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like you're standing there, there's 5 guys and there's 4 girls, and you're the dude that doesn't get the girl. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah, same results.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. It was so much fucking excitement getting that album. I got it, man. Fuck, I can't wait to listen to this fucking...
It's so true, man.
Looking, like you said, pulling the sleeve out there, looking at the lyrics and the pictures. Yeah, fuck yeah, I got it, man.
Yeah, kids don't realize when I say kids, I consider all of us kids, even still. I'm a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a big kid. So, you don't realize how cool that was to indulge in all that stuff, you know? It was so cool. Such a good time.
Yeah, the cool thing about vinyl is getting those things like autographed by the bands because they're big. You know, get a lot of room for them to write. Yeah.
Say that again?
I said another cool thing about vinyl is that when you bring them to the band and get them autographed because they got a lot of room for them to sign on there.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? You had a lot to work with, and you got all the band signatures, and you had that record. Then you walk over, you open it up, you bring that vinyl out, and you slide it and put it on the turntable, and you're like, check this out, dude. Because you knew somebody never heard that record you bought, you know what I mean? So it was like a new day every time a new friend came over. So yeah, I think we missed that, and I also think that the concept of 24/7 in your face of a band takes the mystique out of it. You know, like for instance, you see all these bands on because of the lockdown and all that. And I again, not my band, never was a huge Kiss fan. I don't want everybody to shoot me, scream at me. But Kiss was not my band, right? But I get it. I get those guys. You know, I mean, I understand what they did for the industry and everything and what went down. But I saw Paul Stanley on, I don't know, a week or so ago, strumming on a guitar, and I'm like, your whole shtick is that you're this guy with a star in your eye, and you're bigger than life, and you're this magnificent person, and you're sitting here on your stool, on your chair, and not to be mean, but you sound like shit, and you're deflating the balloon, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think some things are better left to the concert, is my opinion. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people say, "Why don't you guys do a live thing?" You know, I'm like, nobody wants to see us practice. You know, you guys want to see us throw down on stage with all the luster and all the energy level, right? I mean, that's my take.
Yeah, it's cool to see vinyl making a comeback, man.
Yeah, Darkstar pressed vinyl this time for Conquest, and that meant a lot to me. I mean, that was earth-shaking for me. I'm glad it's selling well. I really am. And, this doesn't help anything when the world falls apart. Other than our record title, the world's going to hell, And the track is so point on. I didn't know this back, I wrote this on, 2 years ago? I didn't know this was going to go down. That was just my take somewhat on society in general, that there's so much fake, and misleading information everywhere, and we all get wrapped up in it. Then you start arguing with your friends. It's like, I don't care what your politics are. I thought we liked heavy metal together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just crazy, man. Crazy.
So
I'm super glad that vinyl's come back.
So now you write all lyrics for the band?
Yeah, I write the lyrics, and most of the melodies and the songs. But again, it brings me stuff in. Rob brings me vibes in. Someone will say, "Hey, try this out," and we'll get a feel. You know what I mean? So everybody contributes. I mean, it might start out this way, and then by the time everybody puts their 2 cents in, it has a different flavor. So we really look forward to that kind of working together.
So where do you get all your inspiration from for lyrics? Just from shit going on in the world?
Yeah, that is sometimes, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, man. So I'm a upbeat, positive person most of the time. So you take Blue August off the record. That's just about living in the 80s and 90s. That's really what that's about. Living, loving life, playing music, traveling, getting to play gigs. You know what I mean? So that's just an upbeat, hard rock, heavy metal song about life. Then you go over to obviously, The World's Gone to Hell. That's a asymmetrical political song, if you would, about how I see society. Well, then you turn around and go to a song like Heart of Gold, which is a really obscure song for Conquest. That's a song about life in general, and then finding yourself coming back to what you really believe life's about. So a little bit of everything on there. I'll give you that. Snowman, anti-heroin, anti-opioid song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't need that stuff, man. I love to party, but I like to wake up tomorrow too.
Yep. So now, how long was the recording process for The World Has Gone to Hell?
Well, we demoed some tracks, probably since it came out in 19. So we demoed some tracks in 17 for it, but then we did some more gigs and stuff, and then we came back from Man that year, and we did a show out in LA, in Anaheim, I should say, and then we came back and started tracking it. So I would say it took about a year and a half for us to finish it and get it all done. We don't have the luxury always of, we got to go to another job if we want any kind of money. You know what I mean? So the day job sometimes get involved with the guys from time to time. I'm kind of blessed. I own my own company, so I got a crews to go out and work for me and do, I own a deck company, so I build a lot of decks. And I'm lucky that way now. Rob owns his own thing. He's pretty cool. Mike has to go do some body work. He works at a body shop from time to time. When he has, has to pay the bills. So Tim owns at one of those wrap companies, where you wrap like trucks and stuff with designs, stuff like that. He owns one of those. So, it takes a little longer to make a record when you can't just focus on it 24/7. So, yeah, that's about how long it took.
Now, when Conquest plays out live, what are some of your favorite songs to play live?
From our material?
Yeah.
I would have to say, man, I really love playing new artists. I love playing a song that are called Red. That's a really driving kind of almost hard rock, heavy metal kind of track. More of a priestish feel, I guess, at bands. But anyway, really like that. I love playing The World's Gone to Hell. American Blood's a fun song. That's real aggressive. So, yeah, on that record, I would say that's Demons and Angels, man, another track. I could blast playing that. So, yeah. Then we come back and touch some old stuff. We got some songs from the old days that still are very much called out by the fan base. Something like Killer Machine off the End of Days. Feel My Pain, another well-received song requesting, for us to play their sets. A song called Nightmare off the No Boundaries record back in 2003, right? So, yeah, we mix it up. We add quite a bit to the sets, and we try not to get stale with it, and keep rotating. So when we do the Metal Gods thing, man, we play, like I said, a little bit of all the good, what I consider iconic quality metal.
Now, are there any musicians that you would love to collaborate with someday?
I'm always open for anything. So who knows? I don't ever say never, and then I don't know who that would be off the top of my head, because when you start looking into the bands that that your favorites, you're surprised how they write stuff. So You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that one.
Right. Any funny or embarrassing stories to share from any of your shows?
Actually, the last show we played, I do believe I never done this before. I was center stage playing opening song, blah blah blah, and I turn around and I trip and I fall, and I just one of my brand new guitars was on. I had one of my brand new Epiphone V's on, and man, I was worried about that guitar more than anything. So I took a tumble when my back, my shoulder, and all that hurt, but I bounced back up pretty quick, trying to get back in the game. So that was kind of embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody applauded, and that was cool because I got back up. But it was like, fuck that, man! I'm trying to sing my guitar.
So now, what would you consider to be the pros and cons in the music business?
One more time.
The pros and cons in the music business.
Pros and cons. Pros are, if you're really a musician, you can have a lot of fun. If you're really in this for music, if you're in this for girls, I guess you can find girls in today's world. I don't know how that works 100% with the younger metal bands and rock bands. Obviously, back in our day, yeah, girls were part of the equation. So pros and cons. Cons. A lot of these guys, they don't get their dream immediately, and then they find themselves doing dope or something. Bad idea. Those are cons. Cons also, not the money's gone. There used to be a little bit of money. You used to be able to do this and make enough money to have a few things, but the money's kind of disappeared. So that's definitely a con. The pros, I'm kind of very lucky. I believe that we get to still do this after all these years, still carrying the same banner, Conquest, and we still sell records and people like what we do. So we're very honored. As long as that happens, we will do what we do, as long as we all can do it. And we'll give it 150% of us every time. So
now, if there's one thing that you would like your fans to remember about you, what would that be?
I'd probably say that we did it for the music. We never did it for the girls. We never did it for the party. That all came with it, and that was all cool. But we really did it for the music. So if they liked our music, man, that's the biggest thing I would tell those guys, that we're honored to be musicians and that you guys like our music, because that's the biggest thrill for me. Like I told you when we first started the conversation.
Yep.
When you walk out on the stage, I'll give you an example, man, and I hope nobody takes it in an offensive way, but we see a lot of tribute bands, right?
Yep.
A lot of tribute bands.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them out there. Yeah.
Playing gigs, and you know what? And God love them. I'm glad they do it. I'm glad they're having fun. But when all those people yell and scream, they're not screaming for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're screaming because
they're playing their favorite song by another musician.
That's exactly right. So when Conquest is the song and the room applauds and yells and screams and all that, they're applauding our efforts,
right.
All the work that we put into that music.
Yep.
That rocks. That gives me goosebumps, man, almost every time. I don't care where we're at, what town, where. I don't care if it's 10 people that are truly into you, digging what you did. That's what it's about to me.
So now, Derrick, what kind of advice would you give young up-and-coming bands out there these days?
Well, kind of what I just said, more or less. If you're getting this for money, or you think you're going to be the next big Metallica, you're probably not. So let's be honest. Create a path that you can do, that you can enjoy, and you can accept it for what it is. And if you're a songwriter, man, write as many songs as you can write. As many as you can put to paper, write them. Because you don't know which one's going to work. And usually it's a song that you don't think it's good. It's the song that turns out the best. And don't be afraid to explore and listen to other people. If somebody says, "Oh man, you're a trash band, it's got to be like this," then you're probably doing the wrong thing down the road. That's a trash. I love trash. I love Testament. I love Overkill. I love Metallica in certain elements. You know what I mean? So I'm a Megadeth fan. I'm going on and on. But at the end of the day, if that's not your thing, don't do it because someone else is telling you to do it. You know what I mean? Do what makes you enjoy doing it. because otherwise you won't do it for long.
Yep. So what are some of your favorite venues to play at?
Well, we just got lucky for us this past January before all this nonsense happened. We got to play up the West Coast, so we got to play the Whiskey. We did the Rainbow on Metal Night, and we did the Canyon Club, and we did I can't remember the other places, to be honest with you. Those were the ones that stuck out to me. And then we got to go to obviously the Whiskey was a blast. That was fun because that's legendary, and and never got to play the Whiskey before, so that was cool. Then we got to do we didn't play it, but we got to attend the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. I take that back. The actual real stuff. We got to attend that at the end of the tour, which was really cool, man. Great way to end the whole, West Coast run. So that was fun. Played a lot of venues, man. A lot of some of the festival outside, places, the amphitheaters. That's fun. The sound always sucks, but it's fun. Throughout the region, I played Pops. I played your rooms up there. I can't remember what they're all called. What's the big places up there in north? It's terrible. But I've also played some of the smaller stuff, like Nightcaps. It's been a long time, but I played Nightcaps. Remember Rory's? Played that. The Beer Factory. I mean, what else is up there? We played them. Blanks, man. Blanks.
So you have any favorite cities to play in?
Well, I gotta be honest with you, LA was they received us very well this last time. That was very cool. Illinois, man, you know what Pops is?
Yeah.
Pops, man, by far, our home, away from home.
Yeah, I know it's in Sauget, Illinois, but I've never been there.
Oh, dude, if you can go to a real concert there, you'll make the effort every time after you've been there once. Great room, great sound, phenomenal lights, superb. You know what I mean? You remember the Oasis? I remember playing up there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What was the other place up there? J.J. Kelly's, sure. How about that?
Yep.
Is that still there?
Yeah. They're still going.
Wow. Good for J.J. Kelly's. That's pretty cool. But Pops is who he has by far the most fun. There's no doubt about it. It's always a blast. The crowd's always there to do what they come to jam. You know what I mean? They come to have a good time. So my favorite place by far would be Pops.
So what's been your most favorite tour?
Probably the most I remember back in the early 2000s. We did up and down the East Coast. We did Sun and Steel Festival down in Florida. Literally started up in Syracuse and ran down. That was a lot of fun. That's a lot of back. We were younger guys, so it was a lot of fun to do at that time. In the RV. You know what I mean? Having a blast. But I would probably say some of the Jaeger tours were a little bit more place. They were chaotic, but they were a lot more organized. How about that? So probably the run we did, the little 4-night thing with Slayer, that was cool. The 6-run night thing with Typo Negative, Hatebreed. What was that band from Canada? Dude had a real high voice. Can't remember his band. Anyway, those guys. That was a fun run because we got to actually party with those guys a fair amount. So it was fun. That was when Peter Steele was starting to decline too. So that was cool to be able to do that with him because he was a cool dude.
So now, how many social media sites can we find the band Conquest on?
Well, directly for us, as far as download music, everywhere. Everywhere it's there. Dark Star, obviously, all your standards, Amazon, YouTube. Go check out our new video. We got a video out for Snowman. Come off the new record. New videos out for that. DarkstarRecords.com, whatever. YouTube. You gotta go to the YouTube thing for Darkstar Records. It's on our pages and all that too, obviously. But that's a cool video, anti-drug song. Everywhere. Conquest Metal / Facebook, conquestmetal.com. Like I said, there's plenty. We're pretty much everywhere.
Now, do you guys have an online store where people can buy your merch?
Say that again?
I said, do you guys have an online store where people can buy merch at?
Yeah, West Coast Swag. It's through Dark Star Records again. Yep.
All right, let me ask you a few more questions. These will be the fun questions now.
Okay.
All right. What is Derrick Brumley's favorite food to eat?
That's my favorite food. Probably tacos, man. I'm a taco freak. I love Mexican food.
All right, what's your favorite beverage drink?
If we're talking alcohol, I drink a lot of wine, man, these days. But I do like vodka. Like, I'm a vodka guy.
No, how about non-alcoholic beverage?
Tea. Sweet tea.
No, are you a cat person or a dog person?
I have both.
What's your top 3 favorite bands of a lifetime?
Definitely have to be Judas Priest, Testament, and I'm up to Big Right Hook, Motley Crue.
First concert you ever went to?
First what? Concert?
First concert.
Black Sabbath and Van Halen.
Yeah, that had been a fucking awesome show, man.
I was young, yes. That was like, whoa, what is this? I mean, I already knew I was into it, but like I said, if you saw that first, them dicking around, it wouldn't be as cool. But I went there and see this massive show. Van Halen just floored me, and then Sabbath came out and did, Never Say Die tour. You know what I mean? So it was like over the top. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, Derrick, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview, man.
Oh, my pleasure, bro. I'm glad you hit me up. I love doing this stuff, so if you ever want me to do it again, just hit me up.
Yeah, we will. You have any final words or anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Yeah, man, go buy the record. The World's Gone to Hell. It's kind of a roadmap to what's going on if you stop and think about it. And appreciate all the support from everybody. The fans, we love you guys, man. We don't really call them fans when we're talking about. We call them friends because truly, when you go out, and we're a meet and greet band, we don't charge them money to come out and meet. We go out after we get done jamming. We come out off the stage, walk around, talk to everybody, and do anything, from that perspective, pictures, whatever wants to be done. So we hang out with our friends and our fans in that format. So you guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you, and spread the word. And after this all go over with, this nonsense is going to go away. We'll get back to doing some tours. Come out and see us.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Derrick. You have a great night. Stay safe, man.
You too, buddy. Be safe, okay?
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Kings run through the forest at night. All the beauty
All right, and that was The Killing Time from the band Conquest. After 2019 release, The World Has Gone to Hell. Get that album. Like Derrick said, the title track has a lot to do with what's going on in the world now. The world has gone to hell, so purchase that online. Check it out. Want to thank once again, Derrick Brumley, vocalist, guitarist for the band Conquest, for doing the interview. And hope everyone has a great night. Stay safe. Keep it metal. Later.